We back with another one. Let's get ready to enter this boxing clinic afternoon grind talk with your boy CJ Goodfella. And last night, pretty much, Shawn Porter called out Danny Garcia after the WBC. Said that they were going to make an interim, WBC belt. Basically, be champion and waiting until Keith Thurman returns, and they'll get the first crack at Keith Thurman. Even though Shawn Porter is already Keith mandatory, it makes sense because, if you don't fight Danny, then who he gonna fight? Because he don't want to fight Spence, and Danny don't want to fight Spence. So Danny, returned fire with under an hour, I believe. Said send the contract bozo to Shawn Porter. Then he have a fight made. And Errol Spence been calling both of these guys out since he beat Kell Brook. Before he beat Kell Brook, he been calling everybody out, but no response. So let's get into the five, fighters that will be best fit for Errol Spence right now. And I must say, Timothy Bradley, Amir Khan, Manny Pacquiao, Jeff Horn, all tied up. Terrence Crawford, Adrian Broner, tied up. They ain't doing it. Adrian Gradados, Omar Figueroa going back down to 140. So these are the five best guys that I can find with the name to fight Errol Spence right now at the welterweight division. And, still then again, most of these guys have already turned down. One of these guys have already turned down the fight. Oh, also you have Devin Alexander out there who's trying to get his feet back wet. He was dealing with a painkiller addiction, and that's why his performance dropped off, according to his coach, Kevin Cunningham. They moved from St. Louis down to Florida. He says he's back right. He was supposed to fight Collazo July 29th on the Broner card. For some reason, it didn't happen. Now, let's get into Luis Collazo. He's ranked in the top 4 or 5 of the IBF. I think he's probably been upgraded now in the top 3 or 4 now for sure. And they ordered, Constantine Puelma versus some other guy to be the mandatory to Errol Spence's title. So they fighting. So, I think Errol Spence's team is going to see if they can get Luis Collazo to be the mandatory, so he doesn't have to hang up with another mandatory fight. So once Keith Thurman gets back, or Danny and Shawn do what they're gonna be able to do, he'll be able to, get an extra voluntary fight. So Collazo fight it'll be a good fight. Collazo's strong, but it won't tell us nothing different about Errol Spence. The only thing Errol Spence can do here is show that he can handle Collazo better than Khan and Keith Thurman. Now Lucas Matisse, his coach wants him to squeeze back down to 140 junior welterweight, and I think that's a good idea. He had a little extra fat around the stomach, a little extra water around the stomach, didn't move up right. Hearing about that on the Box Nation telecast when he fought Emmanuel Taylor, just put on weight and just didn't do it right. You can tell he just stacked some weight on, but still can punch. I mean, it'll be a good fight for Earl. Be able to test Earl's chin. People still have questions about Earl's chin, and Matisse definitely can punch. And Matisse wouldn't have to come find Errol Spence, and Errol Spence wouldn't have to come find Matisse. Bang for bang, for your dollar or for your viewership, that'd probably be the best fight on this list. As far as a firefight, definitely going to enter the knockout. In my opinion, more than any other fight in this list, a highlight reel knockout. David Averizian, he won an return belt from Shane Mosley, then lost it to Lamont Peterson. We'll talk about him next. I guess it's a stay busy fight. I'm not even sure if he wants that fight at this point in his career, just losing Lamont Peterson. Not sure if he took a fight after the Peterson fight. He showed a good account of himself, but Peterson just looked too strong for him. I know that's funny saying it, but he's a name that's there. I think that's the worst case scenario for Errol Spence. Out of my case scenario, of course they can pick a lot of these other guys that's on the list. Somebody can potentially jump up and fight Earl. Somebody can move down and fight Earl. You never know. I don't know which route they're going to go. I'm just giving you the 5 best names I found in the division that will be available. Then you got Lamont Peterson, who already turned down, Errol Spence already. He turned down because they ordered Peterson and Spence for a title eliminator to Kell Brook's #1 contender to his IBF belt. Peterson passed. Leonard Bundu jumped in. I think Peterson and Spence will probably be the best fight of all of these. Got all of these fights, competitive wise, fanfare wise. I think Matisse would be the more exciting fight. I think he's also the more realistic fight. I think Peterson, be able to, unify interim WBA title and a WBC an IBF title. I think it's enticing. I think it's worth the bill. I know it's worth the bill right now to do it. Peterson and Errol Spence, I think that's the best fight that can come out of this scenario. fanfare-wise and publicity-wise and marketing-wise. Diego Chavez, another former Keith Thurman opponent. I think that's a good fight. Hardy's won at 154, but he's still ranked at 147. Lumped up Tim Bradley with a lot of headbutts. Very exciting fighter. Gave Keith Thurman one of his first tests in the sport of boxing, and it was a barn burner. Get another good chance for Errol Spence to one up Keith Thurman. I think that's the third best fight on here, exciting wise. His first best, exciting wise, is Matisse, then Peterson, then Chavez.